Welcome back to the Flip class. Okay, today we're going to talk about two different things. First of all, changing dimensions of shapes, and then also the area of circles. But first, you guessed it, another brain teaser. Okay, check it out. A boy approaches a man at a carnival. The man says he can write your exact weight on a piece of paper. If he can do it, the boy owes him $5. If he cannot, the man will pay the boy $5. The boy agrees. The man writes something on the paper, hands it to the boy. Boy looks at it and hands the man $5. What did the man write? You write that on your own piece of paper, what the man wrote down. We'll check it tomorrow. Okay, let's jump into things. We're going to talk about changing dimensions. If you look at the photograph, and I know that's a Polaroid, probably something many of you have never seen, but if you look at the picture on the left, okay, it's 3 inches by 2 inches, okay? It's the same as the picture on the right, except the dimensions have changed. Instead of being 3 by 2, it's 6 by 4, okay? Now I want to do a couple of things. First of all, area and perimeter of the smaller photograph. Okay, first of all, I want to look at perimeter. Perimeter we know is 2 times length plus width. Okay, 3 plus 2 is 5, times 2 gives us 10. So our perimeter over here is 10. Area we know is length times width. 3 times 2 gives us 6 inches squared. So we know that the perimeter is 10 inches and the area is 6 inches squared. Now, I'm going to draw a little line right down the middle and split this in half. To see how the figure changed when we change the dimensions, let's look at the area and the perimeter over here. Okay, area. 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. Add those together. We have 20 inches squared. Okay, let's find the perimeter. 6 times 4 is 24 inches squared. What is the connection? Okay, well, let's look at it. 10 inches is the perimeter here, 20 inches is the perimeter over here. We multiplied that by 2. Okay, 6 inches over here, 6 inches over here. It's not always, I know that's multiplied by 4, right? It's not always going to be multiplied by 4. The area change depends on the perimeter change. Okay? So in actuality, you can look at this as the perimeter, you multiply by 2. In this case, you multiply by 2. And the area, you multiply by the same, except squared. Okay? Let's look at, I'm going to change a couple of numbers here, and let's look at another example. I'm going to leave the photograph on the left exactly the same. So we already know the area, we already know the perimeter. Let's make this 9 inches, make this 6 inches. Okay? So let's look at the perimeter over here. 9 times 2 is 18. 6 times 2 is 12. So we have 18 plus 12 gives us 30 inches. Going from 10 inches on the left to 30 inches on the right, I know that that is times 3. Okay? Let's look at the area. 9 times 6 gives us 54. Okay? That's not times 3 below, right? But it actually is, you take the same thing that you did up here and square it. So 6 for our area times 3 squared gives us 54, because we know 3 squared is 9. So when you're changing dimensions, whatever you change your perimeter by, you do the same thing below, but you make sure to square it. Okay, let's talk now about the area of a circle. To find the area of a circle, what you do is you take pi, which we've talked about before, is representing 3.14. It goes on forever, but we're going to use 3.14. If we are estimating, we would just use 3. For finding the exact answer, we go with 3.14. Pi r squared. Pi times the radius squared. Obviously, the radius is, again, from the center to the outside of the circle. So, if I gave you this radius and said that it was 6 inches, let's just say, to find this, I would do area equals pi 3.14 times 6 squared. Okay, I know 6 squared would be 6 times 6, so I would end up with 3.14 times 36 for my area. And then I have a little math to do. Okay, 6 times 4 gives me 24. Drop the 4, carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Drop my smiley face 0 here, fill in that place value, that 1's place value space. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 1, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to add 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10, carry the 1. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 3. Or 13, excuse me, drop the 3, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. That's a big number, but remember, I've got 2 decimal places to move. So I move the decimal place 2 times. The area of this particular circle would be 113 and 4 hundredths. Now, go ahead and erase all of that and give you a different example. Let's say I didn't give you the radius. Let's say I gave you a diameter of 20 inches. 20 inches all the way across. Okay? Well, before I can do pi r squared to find the area, I know that this is the diameter. It goes all the way across. I only need half of that. Half of the diameter of 20 inches would be 10, so I know that my radius would actually be, in this case, 10 squared. Pi times 10 squared. Okay, 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100 times 3.14. I know if I multiply 3.14 times 1, I get 3.14. I have 2 zeros to move my decimal over, and I would end up with 314 inches squared as the area of this particular circle. Okay, one other quick thing I do want to show you. Go ahead and erase that. Let's say I gave you 5 inches. Okay, I know pi r squared. If I asked you to estimate, how would you do it? Okay, we know that our radius is 5 squared times pi is going to give us our answer. 5 squared is 25. Instead of multiplying 25 by 3.14, I would round just to 3. And so my estimate, the area of the circle would be about 75 inches squared. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. We'll look at this more in class. I'll talk to you then.